Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. I'm David Staples of the Edmonton Journal, and I'm here tonight with Bruce McCurdy. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, David, how you doing tonight? I'll
Well,
just writing my number down so I don't forget it later.
a lot better. They needed that win, and they got it, Bruce. 4-2 victory over the LA Kings.
The pesky LA Kings?
The crafty. I find them crafty. They're the Saruman of the NHL. They're very just crafty and kind of a little bit evil. And they figure out ways to sneak out. They almost snuck out a victory tonight, Bruce. They came very close, even though they really weren't in this game fundamentally. Their goalie kept them in this game. They were by far. This game wasn't as close as the first game. This game, the Oilers were really dominant. The grade A shots, Bruce, as according to our totals, and where are they now? I'm just digging away here for that information. Were 16-6 for Edmonton.
16-6, wow.
And the subset of 5 alarms were 7-4 for the Oilers. 5 alarm shots go in 33+% of the time. Grade A shots. 5 alarm are a subset of grade A. Grade A shots go in 25% plus, or about 25%. And so this was 16-6 on grade A shots. This is,
It's a blowout.
This is not a close game, but the Kings made it. It was tied going into the third period, and we'll get to that. This is. You have a comment? Thoughts?
Yeah, no, it's a blowout, 16-6. I mean, Edmonton dominated this game territorially and scoring chance wise, and LA got a couple of kind of slimy ones, and it was
sure did.
It made a game out of it. And Edmonton's weren't necessarily the world's prettiest either, but Edmonton deserved the goals, and they deserved the win. And they were the better team over the 2 games, and they got 1 win, which is the minimum they deserved.
Yeah. All right, Bruce, we will go now to our 2 good things, 2 bad things, and 2 numbers. And because it was the biggest win of the year, which they will all be from here on in, that's every win is the biggest win, is 2 good things each. What is your first good thing, Amundo?
Yeah, it's Leon Draisaitl, who I thought came out of the gate like a man on a mission. I think Arna Ryan Singh may even have referred to him at that as one point, but that certainly he was very involved in this game. Not a perfect game. He did take 2 penalties, one kind of dumb one for slashing after he was quoted, or he actually said on camera about 15 minutes earlier that they need to be smarter and stay out of the box. He takes the first penalty for slashing. But he also scores assist in a goal in the first period as well, to have the old style Gordie Howe hat trick, goal, assist, and penalty before the first intermission. And he was a very physical force in this game with 5 hits to co-lead the forwards on the Oilers. And he was laying the body on. He was battling for pucks. Even when he got beat not for, I didn't see errors of omission, but he got, just lost battle here and there, like on the 1 goal. But he created, in a way, he was involved in all 4 Oilers goals, right? He because he won a battle along the boards on the game winner that was officially scored unassisted by Kostin. But the reason Kostin got the puck was because Leon kind of stripped it off whoever the LA guy was who had it out there. He didn't have it anymore after Draisaitl lifted his stick and Kostin went in and scored the winner. So no point on that one, but primary assists on the first and fourth goals, and the second he scored himself on the power play with his classic executioner's shot. But I just saw him as a very involved player in so many different ways in this game. He took 31 shifts, very large number. And
he played a lot with the 4th line, didn't he?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. He was the main player that they put out there. as
Mm-hmm.
far as I could see. It didn't seem like McDavid took as many shifts with that fourth line.
McDavid played 10 more seconds than did
Yeah, he did.
Draisaitl on the night. And at even strength, it was actually Leon who was number one at even strength at 19. And he did play shifts with the fourth line, and those two guys each scored a goal with Draisaitl as their center. And the 11-7 that people have been discussing, it showed its
Thanks.
strong side tonight with because you got
First and the third goals. Yeah.
two decent fourth line wingers in Ryan and Kostin, but all of a sudden you drop a world class center in there like Draisaitl or McDavid, and the Oilers have other options as well. And all of a sudden, those guys are a little bit more dangerous. And in this case, both Ryan and Kostin capitalized and were able to score, two of basically the three, well, the two of the two Edmonton 5-on-5 goals in this game. They both came from that fourth line that only has two players on it. They were the two guys who scored at 5-on-5. So
Yeah.
hats off to Jay Woodcroft and staff for getting that part of this game figured out.
Indeed. Leon Draisaitl, of course, a goal and 2 assists. And as you say, he won the battle that led to Kostin's goal. He led the team with 8 major contributions to grade A shots, and many of them were 5-alarm shots, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he set up Ekholm for what should have been, that should have been a goal. Right in the crease late in the second period. He set up, was it Nugent Hopkins, I think? Yeah. For a tip shot.
Kane one time.
Yeah,
right in
he was fantastic on the attack. Both games, he really and this is such a great development because I think we would have seen this Leon in last year's playoffs, and the Leon that we saw was pretty amazing, right? Playing on one leg, but it was more like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, stationary and making passes in the high post and flipping in sky hooks. That was Leon's game last year, but this is how he can play. It's how he will continue to play for as long as he's in these playoffs.
I think so too.
And what a fantastic attacking hockey player he is, Bruce. And again, it was just, if you could just never get enough of the executioner shot. And was that ever a nice play? Bouchard made a particularly good pass from the top. He kind of faked one way a little bit and then put it back. And that, I think, opened the seam. That really helped open the seam because Bouchard had pulled himself so far over and then turned it back to McDavid, who then quickly fired it over. And Draisaitl was wide open, just absolutely wide open. The Kings forward was looking to cut off that cross seam pass, but he was on the wrong side of it, and it was happening so fast. This is why it works, because no matter how good you are, you can get turned around and confused on the ice, and that's what the Oilers do with their speed. They just bewilder the other team. They bamboozle them. They bewitch them, and they score goals. Bruce, my good thing is Klim the Dream Kostin. And this is a game, we're starting to get, we'll see how these Oilers do in the playoffs. And of course, I've been super bullish all along and making predictions. I'm just going to back off on that tonight and just start to enjoy this ride for what it is. And we'll see where it goes at this point. But this is one of the moments that's going to be remembered. A huge goal early in the third period from Kostin, who spent the early part of the game just wrecking LA Kings with hellacious body checks. And he's just such a force out there.
A tank, eh?
What a trade, Bruce. Let's say it. I mean, people have been saying it all year, but what a trade. I mean, we both like Dmitry Samorukov as a prospect. Dmitry Samorukov is a good hockey player and a good prospect, but he wasn't making the Oilers this year. And the Oilers needed a big, tough, aggressive forward with some skill, and they got it. They got this guy, and he's just come in here, and he's got this wicked shot, and every now and then it finds a way in. And it was weird. The goal reminded me of a goal more than 30 years ago now. 1991 playoffs against the Calgary Flames, where in a big game, you'll remember, of course, probably the game and everything else, but I just remember the play. Esa Tikkanen whips, absolutely snaps an outside shot into the Calgary net. And this was the same kind of deal where the team just was desperate. The Oilers were desperate for a goal. They were desperate for a goal. They needed to win this game. And he just let fly from the outside with a wicked shot, which was all the better because Korpisalo really should have had it. Like NHL goalies should stop that shot. And he didn't. And Korpisalo had been so great, so I hope that, hurts his confidence a little bit.
He made a number, like in the first 10 minutes of the second period, it easily could have gone from 2-0 to 5-0.
Oh, yeah.
And he made some unreal stops in there. And,
yeah, on Ekholm. That was one of the, I already talked about that. That was then. Draisaitl, okay, they were like with the grade A shots at that point were Draisaitl early in the second, then a short time later, Bugstad.
Great chance.
Got a
came
really
all the
good
way
shot.
Across to stop.
Yeah, that was a bit of a momentum changer. The Kings start, you make us like Korpisalo makes a save like that on Bugstad, and you start to, you hate to see that kind of great save because I think it fires up the other team. And then McDavid came in and
2-on-1, yeah.
And got a really nice shot. And then the Ekholm shot came. So they had 4 shots that were really strong.
First 5 minutes of the second.
Yeah. And then things went in a lull, and then bad things happened. What's your second good thing, Bruce?
Yeah. I kind of already named it actually with the 7-11. So I'll just go back to that. I just kind of got ahead of myself. But the strategy with the injury to Janmark was, do you replace him with Devon Shore? Do you replace him with the 7th defenseman, Broberg? And I had a little bit of discussion online with people today saying Broberg's not ready. I don't want to be taking ice time away from Vinny, and I'm thinking, well, 11-7, in a way, it's like 11-6. You can go with the 12th forward and give him short bench him, or you can go with the 7th defenseman and short bench him a lot more easily. And the secret sauce to the 11-man forward unit is the hole in the middle of one of the lines, where instead of the 12th man, there's this joker, wild card, where they can turn it over and say, well, this time I want it to be Leon. And next time, let's make it Connor this time. And the poor other team in their 4th line. And, they got their hands full with Kostin running around in beast mode. And then, they got Leon out there involved, well, as mentioned earlier.
Also in beast mode.
In beast mode and involved in 2 goals that line scored. And they were absolutely enormous. And to me, the strategy, the actual sort of format of lopsiding the lineup like that, having an odd number of forwards and defensemen, and just changing how many options you can use. And the Oilers, one thing I've noticed is that if they lose the game at 12-6, they often do go to 11-7, and they almost always win that game, the next game. And
well, they only did it because Janmark was hurt. I
don't think they would have changed if Janmark had been healthy. But because he was, it opened up that that range of possibilities where your 4C is sort of could be anybody at any given moment. Good luck trying to prepare for it. And so they hats off to Woodcroft, and especially to those 2 wingers, and to Draisaitl as well for his big contributions. He was the man tonight with them. Other games, it's been McDavid, of course.
Is Tampa still going 11-7? Or are they? I know they did it in one playoff cup.
Yeah, I think one cup they did it basically the whole way, where they ran with the 4 right D-men, the three veteran right D-men that were cheap because they'd either been bought out or the contracts expired. And that was it was Luke Shen, it was Kevin Shattenkirk, and it was What the heck's the guy's name? It was a Winnipeg
Bogosian,
draft pick. Yeah, yeah,
Zach
yeah.
Bogosian.
Bogosian, yeah. They were all like high draft pick guys that had been, on the way down, and Tampa got them all for cheap. And this between the three of them, they played sort of ice time for two, and Chernik played the rest of the right D ice time, and they were set. And it was a good strategy for them. But it's how you make it work for you is. But I'm fascinated with the different possibilities and things you can do with the 11-7. That the 12-6 is basically a roll your line scenario until you start shortening the bench and stuff. But the 11-7 is even as you roll the lines, you're forced into doing different stuff, and then the other team is forced into coping with that different stuff.
Yeah, it does present a little chaos to the opposition, and I think that's a really good thing. They want it. Everyone wants it predictable, right? Like what's going to happen. You can match up. You can have Drew Doughty out there and Mikey Anderson and whoever is their second pairing and get those guys. But it just throws off those matchups quite effectively. I don't know who the defensemen were on the ice when the Oilers scored those goals, but Alex Edler only played 10 minutes, 10 minutes and 13 seconds. He's slowing down. Bruce,
Edler was on for the first goal, as was Dursey. And that was the one where Leon won the puck in his own zone, roared up ice. His shot was deflected wide, but Ryan picked the rebound off the end boards and pumped it in.
Yeah.
And it was Edler, I think, that got the piece of the shot. And he was unlucky, let's face it, on that one.
Yeah, he played, and let's see, who's their other third defenseman? Edler, and it's kind of hard to tell. The rest of them all played it fairly big. Sean Dursey was -3. Bruce, I have a hard time picking my second good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna go with Brett Kulak. He didn't do a lot, but man, I just noticed the number of times he was super cool with the puck.
Mm-hmm.
He was, as Gene Principe might say, Kulak.
Mm-hmm.
Is that enough of a pun? And then I was thinking,
you say it right.
And I was thinking that Derek Ryan might be a good pick too. Like I think he is the gray beard on the team. He seems like he's like Nuge. He's one of those guys who looks like he's about 15, but he is the gray beard, and he scored that really nice goal. And he is such a smart hockey player. When he's on the ice, I feel really confident defensively that things probably aren't going to go that bad because he's always filling in the cracks. And if other players are thinking offense a little too much, he's not. I think he's a fine hockey player, but I think I'm going to go with something that is actually kind of obvious, and this is the Oilers' play in the third period. Once they got that lead, Bruce, they only allowed one grade A shot, and the puck came out to Kempe in the slot, I think it was, and he got off a shot, which wasn't the hardest grade A shot, but it's Kempe shooting, so it's always scary. But that was the only grade A shot that the Kings got on net in that entire third period, according to our count. And the Oilers, after Kempe's shot, after Kostin's goal, the Oilers got 3 grade A shots by Kane, Nugent Hopkins, and Hyman, and then finally Kane's empty net goal. So Edmonton was really dominant and solid, and those were minutes were really tense and hard to watch, but not a lot bad happened. There wasn't a lot of bad happening out there, and there was one shift where they really were putting the boots. DeHarnay was out there, but it was good DeHarnay was out there because he put a
stop to it.
Thumped, he busted the cycle. They just couldn't get it out, but that was great to see, and it was great to have him out there. So that was a really good thing. Even though they had given up the lead in the second period, in the third period they did not, and they played solid defensive hockey, and thumped the Kings in the third.
Yeah, they were to me the better team in all 3 periods, although each period was 2-0 and all 6 goals were scored at one end of the ice. But it was, the Kings, there's no way there was a better team in the second. But when they sleezed in those two goals late, I was really starting to think, what's going on here? Is this going to be one of those series? But it's
It
nice
can
to be.
happen, right? It's hockey.
Yeah, oh
These,
yeah. Jeez, I watched the Winnipeg series 2 years ago, David, and
yeah,
I still can't believe that was a sweep.
that was a tough one, Bruce.
It
What
was.
is your bad thing, Bruce?
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to microanalyze Stu Skinner on the two goals against, and I'm going to let you worry about everything else that happened before if you want to make them or one of them your bad thing. I just didn't like Skinner's technique of sealing the net, which he failed to do on both goals, which is why the goals went in. And the first was the guy that went right across the face of goal, and that was Philip Deneau, who had another a sneaky good game tonight. That guy's a heck of a player, Philip Deneau. And this was a good play. And he went across the face of the net and he got one shot. And then he got the puck back. And it seemed like forever for him to shoot. And Skinner was down. He had his pad across the sealing the ice. He had his glove on top of his pad, but he didn't have it pushed out at all to cut the angle down towards the puck like he could have. He could have moved his arm forward. And he kind of rested his glove on his pad. And then there was this little hole like this big that was between the corner of his glove and the top of his pad. And guess where Dano slips his shot? Just over the pad, just through that little tiny puck-sized hole and into the net. And to me, that's a technical error, and the goalie coaches in the audience can fill me in if you care to, because I'm always willing to learn. But to me, his arm should have been forward in front of the pad and formed a more solid wall there rather than just kind of making the wall taller, but with a chink in the armor to actually get the glove forward and cutting down the angle on the puck.
You think he should
And
have tried to stab for the rebound to smother it?
no, I just think when he was sealing the net, I think he was missing a brick, and that's where the puck went. He just didn't seal it, and his glove just wasn't it just didn't make the good seal. And then on the second goal, which was Velarde's goal, where to me it was a grade A chance because he was right in on goal. He deked and he banked it in off his skate before Skinner could call it. But Skinner actually uh, he didn't seal the post on that one. He got his skate back to sort of one puck width in front of the post, and guess where the puck goes? Off his skate and in, dribbles in, because there's enough space there for the puck to fit, and it needed to bounce to go in. But if he's got his skate right up against the post, that doesn't go in. And again, maybe there's a technical reason that he just ran out of slide and he didn't quite get there, whatever it was. But it was 2 out of 2 goals scored from like 1 foot in front of the net, and both times because the goalie wasn't able to seal. And to me, that's it's to me it's a fundamental error, to be frank. And he was in the right place, but he wasn't in the right position. You know.
I didn't love the first goal against, but he did stop the first break-in chance. I mean,
First
point
shot,
blank
yeah.
chance, and then the rebound he doesn't get to. And he sometimes can seem a little stiff on those
Hmm.
plays, like he's a bit of a statue as opposed to moving
Hmm.
more emphatically. But I just wonder, is that the style? Like you're supposed to, like because he's following some kind of goaltending tenet that I don't know, which is entirely possible. The second goal, Bruce, I didn't like that. I just thought at that point the shot's a grade B shot. Like he's Velarde's worked his way behind the net, and he's last gasp a tap.
Hmm.
It's like a wrap around attempt at that point, and he just doesn't get his skate there. He just blows it. So that's a clear mistake by the goalie and on a grade. Like if this is a breakaway shot, then and he beats Skinner, then it's
Well,
not
it
a
kind of
then
was.
it's not a major error. So by the time he takes the shot, to me, I don't think he's trying to score, but he
Mhm.
shouldn't because the goalie should stop that. And because the goalie should stop it, that makes it's because it's a grade B shot. It's because it's coming from behind the net. and it's a desperation chance. So anyway, I didn't
Lots of
like
goals
it.
scored from behind the goal line these days, and shooters
But
and snipers like Velarde use that space to deliberately try and bank it in. McDavid scored several goals like that, and I don't think we scored them grade B shots.
I think this is giving too much credit to Velarde, and he just got lucky, and Skinner made a bad play. He should have stopped that. McDavid puts them off the back of their heads on purpose.
Yeah.
Velarde just jammed it there, and he got lucky.
Well, Jimmy Fox, the Kings color guy, he was on today on one of the radio programs, and I think maybe Stafford's Oilers now. He was after you.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, and he was saying that Velarde and Fiala, the two Kings who missed Game 1, are the Kings' two best one-on-one players, and that Velarde would be back tonight, and he thought he would make a difference, which he did. And I mean, he's very slick with the puck. And anyway, he fooled Skinner there. But if Skinner jams the skate to the post, nothing bad happens. But it didn't quite work out that way. So Skinner made some good saves. I'm not saying he had a crappy game. I'm just saying to me, he didn't seal the net on both LA goals. And when he's really on top of his game, sealing the ice and the post are things that Stu Skinner does exceptionally well.
I gave him a 6 in this game,
and
I bet you some people will be mad about that, but that I didn't give him a high enough mark. Yeah, that's true, Bruce. You can't worry about that, can you?
Some people will say you gave him too high of a mark, David. There's no winning sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. I thought it was fair because I think you don't. He didn't get a lot of tough shots. He let in a bad goal.
Got the W.
Yeah. Yeah.
Made a couple of good saves down the stretch in the third. Not even necessarily grade A's, but tricky shots through, traffic and stuff. Anyway, that's enough said about what he did wrong. He did lots right.
He did lots right.
I liked his puck handling mostly too.
I think I only gave one player a failing grade. Connor Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't do much.
A bad thing?
No. He just didn't do much. He didn't do anything bad necessarily though. So, but I just thought you got to do more. You got to make him. My bad thing is the Kings comeback as well, and it's two plays on them that I didn't like. I didn't like Leon's play. I think he was thinking too much offense. He's entering a puck battle. And it's not that he loses the puck battle necessarily. It's that when he loses it, he's flying by. He's way up the ice, way out of position then. You're up 2-0 again. You're up 2-0. It's even strength. Second period's winding down. Just stay in the slot. Stop on the puck. Stop in your battles. And don't be worrying about charging up the ice with the puck. And both he and Kevin Bieksa pointed this out between periods, both Draisaitl and Kane were flying up the ice. Leon after losing the battle, and then there's a 2-on-1 down low, and Ekholm Bieksa criticized Ekholm for leaving the front of the net, going into the corner when it was a 2-on-1 down low. It was a very fast developing play. I'm not sure if we did blame Bouchard. I'm not sure actually he had time to do anything on it, but Leon lost the battle. It's not just, but he lost the battle because he skated through the battle. Sometimes skate through the man instead of going for the puck in that position in your own zone with a lead like that. Take the man. Don't worry about the puck. So the second one that why don't you go ahead because you wanted to defend it a bit.
Well, I didn't think he made that bad of a play there. He was busting his butt coming back, and what he tried to do that didn't quite work was, the pass where the puck was well beyond him, and he had to reach just to get a hold of it. He tried to reach, flip it by the guy, and spin behind him, which is similar to moves he made in the first period. I think 3 different times he took a pass that was way offline that he was able to control and turn up ice, and one of them turned into a goal. But anyway, on this play, he tried that, and whoever the guy was that was on him just saw it off and got a piece of the puck, and LA was able to keep it alive. To me, yes, he made a mistake. We charge him with an error on it, but I don't single that out as being a terrible play. It was just he got beat.
This is his style of play, right? Like,
Hmm.
and it often, like you say, it often works out, and it works out fabulously.
Mm.
And he is a great attacking hockey player. I'm nervous when he's on the ice in his own zone, because there's, you just don't. We're not going to get, you know, Scott, Nick Bugstad or Derek Ryan just straight ahead fundamental defense. We're going to get Leon in all phases of the ice, and he is a spectacular hockey player, spectacularly brilliant, but he can make some spectacular errors as well. Is how I would
Sometimes,
put
yeah.
it.
I didn't see this one as that, but
Fair enough. I did, but
mhm.
maybe I'm a little bit hard on him for this very reason that I've pointed out. I'm looking for it. It's possible. Bruce DeHarnay's play, of course, is the other one, and he just got caught, as defensemen will do, by pesky aggressive forwards on the back check, and they strip the puck off DeHarnay, and they go in and they score. And DeHarnay, he hasn't had that many bad moments like that in the 30-some games he's been in the NHL, but that was certainly one of them. That was not good. That was very bad, and the Oilers, he paid the price with a goal against there. So I'm glad he seems to be able to shake it off and just keep going. He's a good hockey player. He really adds a lot. He adds an element to the team that they badly need, but on that play, he was not. He got caught.
Yeah, yeah. And he was, I mean, you've got Connor, Leon, and Kane all out there together on that play. And you have Vincent DeHarnay uh, picking up the puck behind his net on the left side, circling out behind the net, skating it up through the defensive zone. And then uh, as he finally gets to passing it, uh, he holds it for a split second, and the guy back checking hard, gets a piece of the pass, and it comes right back, and then he's beaten. Only comes back, and it's trouble. But I'm just wondering, that puck needs to be funneled up the boards quickly when he comes around the net. It shouldn't be
Yeah,
any kind of a race. As soon as he comes around the net, just dump it up near one of those guys. They're going to get it, and they're going to make a play with it.
yeah.
If I've got Connor, due respect to Vincent DeHarnay, who I love as a player, but if I got him on the ice and Connor McDavid on the ice and Leon Draisaitl on the ice, I can think two of the three guys that I prefer to have carrying the puck. And neither of them is named Vincent.
Bruce, what is your number?
Yeah, my number is, what is it now? 7 minutes and 44 seconds is one number. 53 seconds is another number. And 1-0 is the third number. 744 is the amount of power play time that LA had in this game, which included 4 minors, 2 of which were overlapping in a 16-second 5-on-3. So they played 16 seconds shy of 8 full minutes, but 16 of those seconds had a 2-man advantage. And they didn't score. In fact, they only had 3 shots on net in that entire time. And meanwhile, Edmonton was the one that had 53 seconds. 53 whole seconds our power play got tonight, David. That's good. And the new rule seems to be, well, we'll give Edmonton power plays until they score, and then the whistles go away for the rest of the night. Because once again, Edmonton got nothing after the first period. And adding those numbers together for the 2 games, we have 16 minutes and 6 seconds for the Kings on the power play, 3 minutes and 20 seconds for Edmonton, and we haven't even got to California yet.
New rules. Yeah, new rules.
Enough
I saw
said.
someone made a joke. We've got, like, it was some joke like, we've got to invent some new rules here.
Mm-hmm.
Prevent the Oilers from winning.
16
Uh,
minutes to 3. That seems fair. I mean, I do think Oilers should probably have deserved the majority of penalties on balance, but 10 power plays to 4 seems a bit much. When
All
they did
right.
get one, they made him pay. That was a great power play, and they scored. They got the same number of shots, 3, in their 53 seconds that LA got in their 7 minutes and 44 seconds, and Edmonton got the goal that LA
Uh-huh.
couldn't get in a 1-goal win. I mean, this was a big win for special teams tonight.
That was a beautiful goal. That's for sure. All right. Bruce, my numbers are 9, 6, and 10. Matthias Ekholm, 9 hits.
Nice.
And there was one crunching one on Arvidsson that I recall off the top of my head. He's a big physical player.
Former teammates.
He's been a little less in the playoffs, a little less obvious than he was in the regular season, but
Mhm.
he's playing really solid hockey. He and Bouchard played very well together tonight, and I gave them both 7s for good games for both those guys. 6 was the number of block shots from Darnell Nurse, who I think I also gave a 7. Was tempted to give him an 8. He played more than 26 minutes for the team. He was fantastic. Few mistakes on defense, but he's just really playing aggressive, dynamic hockey out there and generally getting the job done. 10 is the face-off wins of Nick Bjugstad. 10 out of 13 face-offs he won. It's the kind of thing you don't notice as the game's going along, but it's really those are important battles, and he's an important player on the Oilers. He's a solid penalty killer and a
Mhm.
solid even strength hockey player who almost scored a big goal tonight, robbed by Korpisalo.
Well, when they
So
were 3-on-5, it was Bugstad that they put out there. Face-off was on the right dot, and you'll see that for the whole series. You know that on the power play, the first face-off is always the choice of the power play team. That's why every single face-off Edmonton's taken all season to start a power play has been on the left dot. It's either Leon or Connor, but it's always one of the lefties that's taken the draw, right?
mhm.
And so having that right shot pivot is a big thing. And they had, Derek Ryan as, a small, not so strong guy, and then they got Big Bukestad. So they had that 16 seconds, and I'm thinking, geez, they win the draw here, circle around, pound it in like they did in the overtime the other night. Then they still got a power play, and all of a sudden it's 2-2, and we're trying to kill a penalty to get out of the period tied. And Bukestad made a strong play on the faceoff. I'm not sure they credit him with the win, but what I can tell you he didn't do is lose it. He was able to saw that thing off, and it wasn't one of those things where it was, whip it back to the point, tic-tac-toe in the net. It was like, no, struggle, struggle, struggle to get it off the draw. And by that time, the other Edmonton players, all 2 of them, are at least in position that they want to be, that they're going to force them to work it around a bit. And by the time they've worked it around a bit, here comes the Draisaitl out of the penalty box, and it's now a 5-on-4. So this was after the penalty Evander Kane took tonight. Oh man, puck's like 20 feet in the air, and he hacks at it with his stick and punches it right over the glass.
That was not the best play.
Already down a man, hanging on to a 2-1 lead.
He was out there. I don't know why he was on the ice when they were at the end of the game. They put Kane out there. I mean, they like putting those offensive hockey players out there. I
He
cringe.
scored.
He
He
did
scored.
score. They scored. He scored. I just think those guys they just have the instincts of offensive hockey players. And anyway, they scored though. So
Yep.
all's well that ends well.
We'll criticize that move on the night that it
I won't complain
fails.
tonight. Well, I should give him credit. I guess it
Yeah.
worked tonight.
Yeah.
Here I am wrong, proven wrong.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I find that out there's some folks that if they don't like a player's approach to doing something, like let's say he does something, he has a 40-60 play and he tries it 100 times. And there's some people that will hate the play all 100 times because they think it's a bad decision all 100 times. And there's other people, and I'm actually in this category, that hate the play the 60% of the time it doesn't work. But I'm prepared to give grace for the 40% of the time that it doesn't work, right? It may be a bad decision, but if you make the play, more power to you. So
I'm in the kind of the 80-20 camp.
Uh-huh.
If they make it 80% of the time, 100% of the time I'll be okay with them trying it.
Right, okay.
But if they don't, if they make it less than that, then 100% of the time I'm thinking, and if they don't make it, I get upset. All right, Bruce. The next game is Friday night.
No, what night is this? Yeah, this is
Wednesday.
only Wednesday. I'm
Yeah,
totally confused now. Friday in Los Angeles, and
here we
we
go.
got the full California treatment now
Yeah,
on
good luck.
Friday and Sunday. And realistically, they have to win one of those two games. Uh, Ideally, they just go out there and,
Win
you know,
both.
make the statement and win the game and then win the next game, one at a time. But let's get the job done. I do think they're the better team through two games, and the scoreboard doesn't really agree, 1-1. But by statistics, Edmonton's been the better team, and they've been ahead the whole time. LA has not had a single lead in the series yet. So even
Well, it'll
though
be interesting. Yeah, it'll be
score
interesting to
effects
see.
are should be driving their stats up, and still Edmonton's got the advantage.
Yeah, we'll see what happens if the Kings do get a lead. It could be tough for the Oilers, so we'll see what happens then.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, have been bullish on the Oilers all year. I'm not going to change now, but you never know what's going to happen in the playoffs. You really don't. And
No.
this is what's been driven home to me again. As optimistic as I am, you're playing a cagey team, a good team, a smart team with a good goalie. Things can go bad. So this is the reality.
Bounce here and a bounce there, like game one.
Yeah, exactly.
And and it doesn't, when the difference is narrow, that's
Yeah,
even the bad teams win like 40% of their games, right?
indeed.
So,
Bruce, let's leave it there. Thank you for talking tonight.
all right, thanks for listening, everyone.
And in the meantime, and in between times, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.